Hey guys, what's up? This is Mackenzie in the Mind. This is the second episode.
Oh my gosh, from the second episode.
And we have someone really cool here to talk with us today.
Hello, my name is Susan.
And Susan does a lot of things, like too many things is what she was just telling me.
Yes, I am a workaholic. That is me. Workaholic-tron. Boop-a-dop, beep boop bop a deep bop bay.
And you went to school for film, right?
I did go to school for film at the University of New Orleans. Shout out. No sports were cool there.
Really? Is it? Yeah, I would guess.
I think there was a football club.
Oh, like a after school.
Yeah.
Like league
I went to a football game once. And then I said, this is hot. It was not in like an attractiveness way, in a temperature way. It was very hot.
Right.
Yes.
But then you moved to Chicago. How long after?
Oh, right away. Well, I worked at feature film right before I moved. That's a story. But it was like that August. So I graduated in May, and then I moved that August, and I've been there ever since.
Wow.
2 years.
Why is Chicago, though, as a film?
Funny story. Okay, so my life is like always what people... So how did I go to film school? I was taking Alexandria. People will know this woman. She's very awesome. Eileen, the piano teacher at Red River Music. I was taking lessons with her, and she heard about the feature I made in high school. But Gail.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was terrible. It's a terrible
No,
movie.
it was so entertaining.
Thank you for being kind. Go and watch it, YouTube. Anyway.
It is on YouTube. There's like 8 parts to it, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I worked very hard on that. But,
check the description. There's going to be links to Gail the movie.
my directorial debut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, but she's like, oh, you like film? You should just go to UNO in New Orleans. I'm like, okay. And then that was the only college I applied to. And then I got in, and then I moved to New Orleans. And then while and then while I was doing an internship on the feature in New Orleans, my boss, he was like, I'll shout him out. Will Greenfield.
This is gonna be like just like a shout out fest. What's up, Sin Law?
Well, Atwood's Bakery making. I can't get that out of my head.
Von Value. That's the one I can't get out of my head.
Which one's that one?
It's like Von Value.
I can't remember that one.
And then there's like a little kid that goes, it's Von Value.
I don't know. I missed
sorry.
that one. It's okay. And then he knew I did improv and I was doing acting. And then he was like, well, you should just go to Chicago. And then I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
And I went to Chicago. But I do want to be an actress and I do want to be a filmmaker, so it works out. Did you hear my Chicago accent? Actress. Yeah, it comes out.
That's so funny.
I know.
Well, because I met Susan through, at first it was a hip-hop class. I met Susan in a hip-hop class. I was like 12. And I just remember bright pink pants. And, or they were like...
Had every color. Mackenzie had every color pair of pants.
And I remember thinking you were like so eccentric and like you loved that Fame was written on the wall.
That's my favorite movie. It's still my favorite movie. Actually, I watched that last night while I was packing to come home because it's my favorite movie.
I remember you saying that, and I remember being like, this girl, like she gets it with hip hop. And then I saw her at like this. I couldn't dance to save my life. I still can't. But we had so much fun in that class.
Nancy Levine,
and she actually ended up like not doing the performance.
Yeah, you're talking about me, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we overslept, me and my mother. We never forgave ourselves. We thought it was at 5 p.m.
No, it was an interesting time. And then I met you at the first like free acting class.
You went to that?
Yeah, it was Calvary. It was at the Baptist
Church. I was talking to Michael Canella.
Yeah.
The other day. Shout out.
Oh my God.
We have to tag everyone. I shout out.
I know. They're going to be like, what?
What? And he was like, oh, we met at the first Lanyap thing. I was like, no, you weren't at the first Lanyap thing. The first Lanyap thing, I didn't tell him this. I should have said something. I was just letting him think he was right. But it was at Calvary. I knew it was at Calvary. That little girl who you remember the little girl? There's a lot of little girls. She was really funny. She had good glasses. Maybe I'm talking about myself.
No, I know. I think I do. I do remember a little girl.
She was very outspoken, and her grandmother was there. I don't know whatever happened to her, but I wish she had done more. She was cool.
That sounds really familiar. I remember you were there. I remember I dragged my friend Kelsey there. I remember Malik was there.
Malik was there?
I think Malik was there. It's so funny now. Anytime I talk about Malik, I say Malik, who was on Broadway.
Me too. I brag about Malik. Malik Victoria.
I'm like Malik Akil, who was on. I don't know if that's how you say the second part of his name. But I'm always like, Malik was on Broadway. Malik was my seaweed. Like, I say that to everybody.
I literally, I brag about him all the time to all the theater people I meet in Chicago. I'm like, well, my friend was on Broadway. So
straight out of college.
He was in my terrible web series.
That's so funny. I love it.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, my God. Malik's all over that.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yes, he is.
Sorry,
Malik. I will not say the name of the web series for your own sake. It'll be in the description below.
I just remember, so we met through this acting class, and then I remember everyone kind of felt like it was gonna be this one-time thing, but then it turned into this huge thing because we kept having these classes at dance studios, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Changed our lives almost. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Would I be where I am without Lanyap Theater? Probably not.
No, I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't.
It's the weirdest thing, but I remember you were such a good improver, and I remember you were such a good actress too. When you would act, I remember everybody being like, "Oh my God,
really?
Who is that?"
But I just screamed back then.
Yes, but it was so it was so important for some reason, and we were like, she's a star.
Oh, thank you very much.
I just remember I remember always thinking you would go to school for
theater
or experimental theater or something, and then you went to school for film, and then you went and moved to a theater town.
Well, that's true, but it's cheaper than New York and LA combined. I live an affordable life, and I'm kind of just gaining this is all excuses maybe, but I don't know. I'm gaining experience. I've actually built up a decent resume, and I'm not going to stay in Chicago. No offense, but it's really cold there. Shout out to snow! Just saying. It's freezing.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
It's terrible. I shouted at this guy the other day. I was like, do you hate me? It turned 40 degrees overnight. It was like, I blame my roommate Sam, and he's like, don't do this to me again this year. That's a lie.
It's not. It's but does it snow more than New York? Is that
I have no idea how New York is. I know that
I think
Lady
New York
Liberty
has
is there.
Seasons.
Chicago has seasons.
Oh, well then you would
It's
hate
just
New
by
York
a
too.
lake, but then isn't New York by the ocean?
but then LA's by the ocean, and
but it's hot
just,
over there.
It's it's hotter in Louisiana than it is in LA. LA's consistent breeze, nice. That's how I feel.
Is it boring or is it awesome sauce?
The weather or the people?
No, the weather.
No, the weather. No, I think it's awesome sauce because
cool.
when people say it's hot there, I'm like, you don't know what hot is.
You do not know. When people say it's hot in Chicago, I'm like, you don't know what hot is. You know what cold is. You very clearly know what that is. COLD is your middle name.
Yeah.
Shout out to middle names. Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
That's okay. That's great. But yeah, no, I so now you're in Chicago and you're doing a lot of stuff.
I am.
You've done a lot of TV work and stuff.
Yes, I have.
You've done a lot of serious stuff.
All I've done since I've moved to Chicago for comedy has been serious roles. Actually, it's very true. My first one was I found out my friend died. Okay, no, it's sad. People dying is sad, but I'm just making fun of the fact that it was serious. But yeah, that one, and then the next one, it was a very awesome Ginger the movie. It is an awesome, amazing film, and it's based off the real life of the director Melissa, who is awesome, and Jimmy, who's awesome. They're both the directors, and I play Melissa's story of finding out she had breast cancer at 23. So that was it was a challenge, but it was a very good experience. And then the next one was Empire, but that was just I had one line.
But like you were in Empire.
That is cool.
That is cool.
They had cheesecake in a cup on set. I felt like I had made it.
Yeah, I would. That's like set food wise, like
that's crazy.
That's pretty high up there.
You can tell that they had a lot of money for that TV show because of how big the cameras were. I felt like Godzilla was coming towards my face because they were tracking shots, and so it was just like.
Right.
Like I was like,
excuse me, are we shooting Godzilla?
Can I scream?
I'm sorry. It's could you explain exactly what's the motive? Sorry. But so then you did Empire, and then you did you did CSI.
No, I did Chicago PD, then Ginger, and then Empire, a couple of different indie short films, and then the next big project I did was Easy Does It. Another indie, but I got to do it in New Orleans. It was made by a group called Worklight Pictures, director Will Addison, producer Ben Matheny, also Lizzie Gutro, who's my I love her. And then I'll just say Matt Martinez and everyone else is awesome. Right. And I got to act with Linda Hamilton from Terminator. So that was insane. Really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
She was from Terminator. She was crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much acting, like, you're doing. Like, it's not crazy. Yeah. I'm not shocked, but, like, it's, like, did you go out for these roles? Or
yes.
Was it kind of like the universe was kind of giving them to you?
I can tell you the fun story of serendipity that was my life for a second.
Yeah.
So I have been pursuing acting. That's like what I want to do. It's why I figured it out, because that's why I make things, is just to be in them.
Right.
I hated making. I made this documentary and I never finished it. And that's like the one thing I've never. Well, there's other things I haven't finished, but that's like the one thing I never finished, and it was because I wasn't in it. And I know that sounds terrible.
That is so funny.
I'm sorry. I'm such a.
But I understand.
I will finish it one day. Well, no, I won't.
No, it's never gonna happen. You're gonna like write yourself in, and then it'll be finished.
Yeah, well, I'll do what is Napoleon Chagnon? He's this guy, an ethnographic filmmaker from the 70s, who just put himself in every single one of his movies.
Genius.
Yeah. Well, we hated him.
Somebody else did that. There was, but it would be. I don't know. There was another director. I want to say like Alfred Hitchcock or something.
No, it was Woody Allen, right?
Yes, who would like
Mel
just
Brooks,
be like,
or was it Mel Brooks? I never always.
It was one of those who would just like put themselves like in a bar scene or something like that.
I know Stephen King is in all of his made-for-TV movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he requested that, but I like seeing his face. It's weird looking, and
that's so funny. I don't blame you. So that's what you want to do. You want to be an actor.
Yeah, that and create stuff. I'm a lot like you, Mackenzie. I like making. It's very addicting. I can't stop. I've done it since I was a kid, and like it makes me happy. It gives me a reason to wake up, and those are important.
And it never really does it ever get to a point where you feel like it's work? Or
all the time, every day almost.
And so that doesn't break the magic of it for you?
No, I love working. It's not, it's addicting because it's not always easy. I met this guy randomly on the train. He turned out to be creepy. Shut up. He was really creepy, but he was like an artist. And we went to the library because I'm serendipitous. I just will go on. I don't care. I'm just like, oh, you want to go to Chicago? Move to Chicago. Okay, you want to go to the library? Sure, why not? It wasn't creepy the day of the library. It was later on. But he was just like, yeah, it's art. You just got to do it when you feel it. I'm like, no. You want to be an artist? You have to do it every single day.
I agree with that.
You can't. You want to, like, it's like looking at an opera singer and saying they don't train before they go and sing. Of course they train, or they would hurt their voice. It's like, and a lot of people are weird about acting, I think, because they think you have to play. I don't know. It's like this weird thing where you just play yourself or something. I've heard a couple like things like it just comes natural.
Right.
But no, would you tell, like I was told by someone, don't take a class, right? But would you tell a musician not to take lessons? You wouldn't tell a musician not to take lessons because as an actor, you are your instrument. And even if the class is not helpful, like, you're trying. And I think that's super important.
Yeah, because, like, for example, like, like me singing the other day, like I had a 30-minute set and it was just very random. And like I found out the day before it was just because I was in town and I love Art Walk. And I haven't sung in like a year. Yeah. Like last show I did was Hair the Musical, and that was December last year. So I haven't really been singing since then. And like I sang the day before and just blew out my voice. Yeah. Had no idea what I was doing. And it's so true. And I realized like I love singing, but oh my God, I haven't worked on it.
That's me in improv right now. Like I feel like if I went out and did an improv show, it would be crap. That's okay. That'd be fine.
It's a scary thing. Yeah. No, I agree.
I just haven't done it in a while.
It's just a muscle, you know, and I hate saying that. It's so cliche. That's what they say about stand-up. They're like, it's just a muscle.
But it's true.
But it is so freaking
super true.
So what were you going to say about the whole serendipity thing?
Oh, so how I got cast. Okay, well, not how I got cast. I auditioned. But my life just, like, kind of turned in a positive way. I work at this place called Snap Kitchen. And like I had this like brain fart moment. I was helping a customer and I was just like, hey, you work in the film industry. And it wasn't even like, I didn't even think before I said it. It just kind of like, it just came out of my mouth. Yeah. And he was like, yes, I do. And I was like, what do you do? Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're a TV director. That's great. I'm a filmmaker. And then I met him. He got me in contact with a casting director. And then I was in a library writing, and my phone was ringing. I was like, this is something to do with film. This is something to do with film. Before I even picked it up, before I even looked at the number, I turned it over, and it was the casting director, like a casting agent in the city named Claire Simon, and she said, hey, did you check your email? You're coming in for this audition. And then I went into audition for Chicago PD, and that was like my first one, and I booked that one. And so then like a month went by, then they were like, you have to do ADR. And I was like, okay, I'll do ADR. And the day before that, I had just done an audition for Ginger. Right. And I got out of the ADR, which was super intimidating, but awesome sauce. And I got out of there, and I was thinking about the Ginger movie, and I was like, I looked up, and then there was this bar called The Redhead, and that's when I knew I was going to get cast.
Like, you didn't even question it?
No, I just knew. And then ever since then, I've had no idea about anything.
It's just kind of happened.
Yeah, but those were the crazy ones. Oh, another thing is that the film director, he ended up knowing I forgot to tell you the other crazy thing. So I met him, and then the next week, like that next 2 days from then, I was walking to the grocery store to get a rotisserie chicken because I don't cook. And then I was like, and then I saw the film set for Chicago PD or Chicago Fire, and I was like, and I saw the back of his head, and I was like, hey, Nick Gomez, you're filming on my block. Like, he was filming on my block. And then I find out when I moved in with a new roommate I never met before. I was like, oh, Nick Gomez asked me to assist him. And then he comes in and he goes, Nick Gomez! Like, he just, like, super dramatic because he's also a comedian and actor. And then he's like, I was like, yeah. And he goes, I was almost cast in the Nick Gomez short film in Boise, Idaho.
Oh my God.
And so that was really weird. But then, like, ever since then, my life's been normal. So,
right.
Yeah.
Just that little frame of time. Well, so, wow. Okay, so that's, like, if ideally 10 years from now, you'd want to be, I mean, I know this is a huge question for an artist that does 18 billion things, because I know you do. If you had to pick one art form, it would be acting.
It would be creating and acting.
Yeah.
Is that one art form, or is that two? Oh, darn. I think I would create, because then I could just act in the things I'm there.
Right. Just smoosh your way through. But you get the most fulfillment out of acting? Yeah, kind of.
I get them.
It's like tough
from both, because I'm a Leo. Also, you understand this because you're a ham too, Mackenzie. Yeah. Mackenzie's a ham.
Shut up to hams.
They're all going, look at me. But we have a need for attention, and I think acting fills that. Also, I get joy from, like, I get joy from imagining and playing pretend. That's like one of my favorite things. But then I also have this like crazy addiction to just thinking of these wild worlds and letting my imagination flow.
Right.
Like, that's also a thing I like to do. So I can't choose. Can I not? Okay, fine. I'll choose creating, I would say, because then I can act in it. So that's my answer. I found a trick.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Way to get over that.
It just works. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand because I don't know if I could even answer that question.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know what we'll be doing in 10 years.
I know that's a shitty thing.
14-year-old Susan, like, shaved her eyebrow on a dare. Who knows what I'll do in 10 years?
Right.
34.
And I want to know what you think about this. And you know, before we get into everything else, I have a lot of people tell me this in LA, which pisses me off because I hate LA people.
It's okay.
And I am definitely one of them, but I also hate
lobster anorexics.
I can't.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, like I can't stand it. Like it's yes to everything you just said.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, I've had so many Uber drivers. This is the most LA thing I'll ever say. I've had so many Uber drivers tell me, you know, to pick just one thing. They're like, because if you're focusing on too many different other things, you're not being able to give 100% to one thing. Yeah. And I disagree with that. I feel like if I'm leaving all my doors open. Well,
here's an example. Steve Martin plays the banjo.
That's a great comeback.
That's crazy.
That's a great comeback. He plays Steve. Wow. That's a good comeback. But yeah, so that's just something everybody tells me in LA. They're like, just focus on one thing.
They're all smokers.
And I'm just like, okay. Like, and what are you, while you Uber drive, what else are you focusing on? Because I'm pretty sure you're about to tell me to check out your music on iTunes. Like,
oh my God, that happens to me all the time in Ubers.
No, I don't even have SoundCloud. Like,
I always listen though. I like to listen to random people who like listen to my music.
Such a nice person.
I do, because sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes you're like, whoa, they're so good. And other times you're like, well, they tried. And at least they're making stuff. No?
No.
Okay.
I guess, but it's just like, I don't know. That's just like the self-centered part of me that's just like so angry at the world. It's like, I don't want to listen to your mixtape. Like, screw it. Like I know it was tough, like, you know, your mom and stuff, I get it. So you were telling me that so obviously this podcast has a lot to do with, you know, mental illness and just mental illness awareness and stuff. Obviously Susan's a very intricate person, so we kind of had to introduce you to the intricacy, but so you have a form of mental illness, correct? Or
I've never been diagnosed, and I don't know how bad it really is. It's just something that I feel like other people have to deal with too, because I was talking to a friend the other day and he was telling me about his own personal experiences with it. And I don't want to say it's OCD because I have not been diagnosed, and I think that's rude, but I do have a tendency to where my anxiety, I have to like touch things or like over and over and over again. And it happens, it's like flares up. So like the first time it happened was when I was 12, and I had this like, I'll tell you 3 instances. I had this like thing like hanging, like, so you know, pull down attics. So like that swing pool thing, I would hit it over and over again just until I was not nervous anymore when I was younger. And then there's this drawer with pencils in it, and I would always be like picking a pencil, but then I'd have to like open the drawer over and over again until I was satisfied. Yeah, and you never are. And then the worst one was I would read a book. I remember one time I was reading a book. I read that thing like each sentence 3 times or more because I was so nervous I didn't get it the first time, and it would just be over and over and over again. And then it kind of went away. Like, I don't know what happened. Maybe my life became less stressful. But then it always flares up before shows. Like, when in college, I was always nervous about improv because I hadn't realized that it's okay to fail. Like, I was like, I'm still a perfectionist, and I think that's probably where it comes from, is like my controlling issues. But I would like I was in the shower. But I would like open the cap of the shampoo like over and over again, thinking about the show, and like if I did this, it would not go well. If I did this, it would go well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like rituals.
It's not even a ritual, it's anything. Like I did it today, walking with my parents. I walk on the outside of poles because if I do, then I'll keep acting. Like, one of my biggest fears is, like, quitting, which I don't like quitting, and I love it so much but, like, one good thing about having this is you really know what you don't want to happen.
Right. Yeah. That's good, yeah.
So I know that that's something I want to do is acting, so that's one way of looking at it. But it makes me walk around poles. When I run, like, long distance, because I do that, pretty much every day, it makes me parkour. So I'm more in shape now, but, like, I'm, like, running on ledges. I run up on stairs just to, like, make myself feel in control. So it's weird. I do it all the time.
Well, so you mentioned when you said, like, it didn't get as bad because your life got less stressful. Were you more stressed out as a kid, you would say?
Oh, yeah. I don't want to go into the reasons why.
Right.
But 12 was a tough year for me. So, like, I was going through growing pains, puberty, period, for the first time on April Fool's Day. So, yeah, I was going through a tough time of self-acceptance and living in a very religious town, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Hint, hint.
Shout out to
blah. Certain things aren't accepted they are accepted, but they're still, like, frowned upon in this in this area of the world. Yeah, but anyway, 12 was a hard year for me, so yeah, that's why.
And I think also too is, like, so let me ask you this: do you enjoy being an adult more than you did being a kid?
I love being an adult because every day of my life I live the life I want.
See, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally 100% agree with that. Because I feel like, even though being an adult is so crazy and, like, you have all these responsibilities, like, I can do what I want now. Like, without having to, like, walk on eggshells or do things like that. I agree with that because a lot of people are like, oh, I'd rather be a kid, no responsibility. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like,
I love responsibility.
Like, I like being in control, and that's where the control thing comes from. I think a lot of artists experience that, having I gotta control this. Also, if you hear a dog barking in the background, there's no ending to that. There's this dog that my little brother owns that is just...
that's me farting, Mackenzie.
I was trying to cover it up.
Fart dog barks.
I was trying to cover it up. See, it stopped. It worked.
Wow. You got rid of my IBS. My irritable bark syndrome. All right.
And okay. So, but yeah, no, I'm glad you can agree with that, because I think I meet a lot of people that are like, I'd much rather be a kid, but in reality, it's like,
I liked my experience as a kid. I don't think anything really bad happened to me, which was great. I had a very good childhood, very good family, and an awesome school experience.
Yeah. You got to do a lot of really cool
stuff. Yeah. So, like, it wasn't bad. It's just I just really enjoy how tough it is in our industry, how hard it is. Like, I like waking up every day to be like, okay, what am I going to work on? Like, my daily routine is I wake up at, I want to say, like, 6 or 6:30. I go to a coffee shop. I'm like, all right, we're going to write, or we're going to work on, like, email stuff before I have my internet job. So then that's, like, 1 hour to 2 hours, and then I do my internet job. And then I probably have a space between my other jobs, so I work on acting before my other job. Then I go to my other job for 8 hours, and I work on both.
So how many jobs do you have?
I have 2 jobs, and then acting, and then all the other stuff. So, like, I have 2 day jobs, and then I do creative stuff as well.
So do you ever feel burnt out?
Yes, right now I feel burnt out. That's why I'm on vacation.
Because I would feel like
I'm very tired. Yeah,
working jobs like me, like I was telling you earlier before we started the podcast, like, I was working this job that I really hated. That was it kind of went against everything I believed in as an artist, and my artistry, which sounds really posh and uptight, but my artistry was that you should be a DJ. That's your next thing. Yeah. But my artistry just felt like it was being taken advantage of, and it wasn't being taken seriously. Like, I was being very underestimated as far as what editing is and what, you know, what goes into doing stuff for other people, especially editing other people's work when they don't even know what they want, and you're just like it's very hard. But I would get so burnt out from working on other people's stuff and just working in general that I never worked on any of my own stuff. So I find it really admirable.
That's how I am when I work the film industry, which is why I don't do that often, because you're working 13 to 14-hour days doing a job that's not necessarily what you want to do, and you're too tired to work on anything. Like, I had made a schedule before I worked this last TV episode. I was like, okay, you have this monologue you have to learn for your next agent audition, and you're going to learn this because you've been working on this for like 2 weeks before, and you're going to keep it up, Susan, you're going to keep it up. I couldn't, because like, not only did I have to think, like, my job wasn't hard, like, it was just assistant work, not hard at all. But I mean, also, I was assisting the director, and I really wanted to, like, try and learn visuals. So, like, the times where I could have worked on my monologue, instead I was, like, trying to make storyboards. But Susan's not a visual person. That took me forever, Mackenzie.
Me too. I'm
not good at it. That's why people who are good at it should do it, and I should do what I'm good at. But I still was like, I have this opportunity. I have to take advantage of it. I can't, like, not try and learn right now, because that would be a mistake. So I put away what I really like to do to work for this other person and work all these hours. And then I worked 30 days straight, because I also had to work my day job on the weekends. So I would work, so I was tired. But it was okay. Yeah, I'm better. I'm here now.
Right.
Yeah.
You made it. You're out alive.
I'm talking.
So back to the, like, obsessive compulsive stuff. So other than, like, the touching and things like that, was it a mental thing, like, in your mind? Would you, like, have to like, think about stuff over and over? Well, like you said, you would read a sentence over and over again.
That was literally because of my anxiety. A lot of it just has to do with, like, what I don't want to happen, what I want to happen, and it's illogical. It's like my way of trying to control my life.
Yeah.
Yes, because I literally, what did I think? Like, I walk in front of the poles because I'm like, if I walk in front of the poles, I'm more likely to be an actress. If I walk behind the scenes, I think of it like a stage. I'm like, the poles are, like, in front of the curtain, and behind them, like, this other side. Oh, no.
The technical side.
That's not where you want to be. So I literally will walk in front of them because that's what I want. And it never stops. Like, ever. Like, it's continuous. And I was walking from my apartment. I was actually very stressed about just life stuff. And I was walking home from somewhere. I don't remember where I was going or where I was coming from, but I was like, okay, if I walk around this weird, like, sewage grate, and then I touch this little thing right here, then everything I want will come true. And then I kind of tripped on myself, and this guy at this barbershop goes, oh
my God.
He, like, laughed at me, and then I was, like, in an angsty mood, and I go, my OCD sucks.
Oh my God.
And then I went into my apartment, and I ate apples and peanut butter, which is my favorite breakfast.
Does it bother you, like, when things like that don't go as planned?
I thought it was funny.
Like, you laughed it off. Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it's funny because I know how ridiculous it is, because I know that I know that what I'm doing doesn't make any sense, and how would it control any of the things that I'm thinking it would.
Right.
So I know it's all self-made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
But when it started, like, you didn't really understand, like, when you were younger, and this ritualistic sort of way of being.
Monk taught me.
It's just more so, like, it just kind of came out of the blue, you know?
Yeah, I think it's hereditary, because I don't want to say anyone, but I think I know someone in my family who might be a little bit like that. So.
Well, and I guess, I mean, it sounds silly to compare it to anything like a superstitious thing, but, like, you know what I mean?
It feels very superstitious.
Yeah.
Because, like, maybe if I had a less imaginative mind, and if I didn't believe in, like, I believe, like, things happen.
Yeah.
I do. I have that weird, like, because, you know, serendipitous things have happened in my life. So it's like, well, if I don't listen to my instincts like I have before, then maybe my instincts are right.
Right.
But they're probably not. I probably could have just walked on top of that sewer grate.
Right.
And it would be just fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother you. It doesn't get in the way of your life.
It does sometimes, though. Like, lately, like, I'll just be like, come on, Susan, let's go. Pick your underwear. No, because the heart one, you're going to have a shitty day. If you put those underwear with hearts, they're going to ruin your day.
Like, and then, that'll be a thing.
Oh, every morning. It's like every morning. Though I wear the same pair of pants every day, so that's never a problem. They also have a ton of stains and smell like pee.
I love how, like, all of these answers are sung. And it's like people are going to have to play them back to be like,
what did she say?
Oh, okay, I got it.
Is she serious right now? Yes.
I love it.
Lately, it's been getting in the way, and, like, my friend Marian's always like, go to a therapist. I'm like, I know, I need to go to one.
But, like, okay, so if you go to a therapist, like, what's that gonna solve?
Maybe them just saying, like, literally just them saying, this is all in your head. Like, this is created by you.
Right.
And, like, the next time I do it, I'll be like, well.
But you know that.
But you're right. But it's hard.
It's weird, yeah. Like, well, it's hard because you kind of want, like, a solution to, like, control it or stop it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's really strange that I have this issue. Like, I have the issues of control, but I love not having control. Like, I love the idea of, like, tomorrow someone's, like, calls me and says, oh, well, we need you in Alabama. I would be like, yeah, I'm coming to Alabama right now. Like, I feel like I'm a risk taker in a lot of ways, but,
yeah,
like,
I think so.
But I still have control issues, which is really funny.
Mm-hmm. Like a paradox, sort of.
Well, thank you.
But I totally understand. I totally understand.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about OCD too is I don't know too much about it.
Me neither, actually. I'm just saying it's OCD because that's what I've been told.
It's a very broad spectrum.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend has a tendency. He does things like that too.
Really?
Where when he said he was younger, he would like touch things a certain amount of times.
Yeah.
Or something would happen. Like, or he would think something would happen. And also he does this thing where, I'm not kidding, he will lock the door 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like the front door, and then leave and then call me and go, I'm so sorry, I think I left the front door unlocked. And I'm like,
oh yeah. And
so what he does is and it's more of a like I guess question, like in his mind of did I do that? Am I doing this? Like he has to do things a certain way all the time. And I even have a friend that like he takes a very complicated route to get to my mom's house, but that is the way that he knows.
It's a way of controlling.
And it's a way of control of just being like, I do not want to take any other route. And my boyfriend has had someone suggest to him that, you know, when you lock the door, like with a little marker or something, make that on your arm, like write a little tally mark that I've done.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
You know, so there's ways, but the thing is that I don't think there's enough research on OCD, and I'm not a doctor, so this is just my opinion. There's not enough research on it because there's so much that can happen if you have OCD, because there's the ritualistic things, there's the, okay, am I doing this thing? And then there's also, you know, like, then there's the stereotypical, everything has to be clean, and, like, my boyfriend is the messiest person.
Yeah, no, I'm the messiest person.
And so am I, yeah. So, like...
my pants smell like pee!
Yeah, so, like, you know, that's a stereotype. And then also there's another stereotype because Howie Mandel, I don't know if bald guy who did, I'm making sure I'm saying this is right. Howie Mandel, I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Yeah. A Deal or No Deal guy. Okay. He would always fist bump people, and he would never shake their hands because of germs.
Oh,
he had really bad germophobia, and I remember being little when he like first talked about it, like on like ABC News or whatever, and he would have to stay in a separate house from his family because like he couldn't be around his kids like being babies crawling around the floor and stuff. What? Like it was this like vast fear of germs, but also they were identifying that as OCD because he was very obsessive, like with the way he did things, like, and he would take medication for it. And like the one time he like dropped a pill accidentally on the ground, and that was like his only pill of the day that he had for his medication, and he didn't pick it up. And it was just like, and I'm really interested because a lot of people with OCD will get prescribed like antidepressants.
Ew.
Which, like,
pills scare me, by the way.
Yeah, like, why would
Can I just bring up birth control for a second?
Yeah.
Birth control made me depressed and have suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Each one that I've tried. That stuff is crazy.
Did you try like the pill or was it?
The pill. Yeah, I'm gonna get an IUD when I need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Right.
My pants smell like pee.
I'm just kicking it. Yeah.
Single for a reason.
Oh my god.
But I'm really hot, so if anybody's
interested. Oh my god. You're looking at me like, cut all of this out.
No, please keep it in. I'm single and ready to mingle.
I have blonde hair and purple glasses.
And great personality traits. And my pants smell like pee.
And listen to me when I talk. And if your problems overweigh mine, please don't ever.
Yeah, please don't. I'm a Leo. Thank you.
Yeah. I get it. I'm a Gemini. We're like very similar.
Summer babies.
Yeah. But okay. So, but you mentioned anxiety too. So you feel like that kind of goes hand in hand. Maybe
it's like the chest feeling. You know, like I don't.
Is that a performer's thing or is that a? You had that before you were doing David Bowie on stage and whatnot in high school.
Yes, because I had it when I was 12, and I started acting when I was 12. But it wasn't about like the anxiety I didn't get that from stage. Like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would never expect that you had anxiety when it came to.
Well, funny story, all you people that used to think I was never nervous all the time. Every time I performed, I was nervous. Had you fooled. I had all of you fooled. I'm still nervous every time I perform, but that's because I love it and care.
Yeah, well, yeah, you should. I like Ross. I remember Ross even saying, like, I remember there was a show. I don't remember what show we did, and I was like, that was the best show we ever did. It was like Schoolhouse Rock or something. And he was like, you should always feel like there was something you could have done differently.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, okay. I'm like 15, like, you're right.
Oh my God, I love Ross's serious face when he'd be like, about acting.
Well, I know.
No, because I didn't do the first late night land yet because I was making a commercial for Alexandria Aces, the baseball team.
That is so random.
I was on TV and I made it with iMovie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I remember I went to the show and he's like, you should have been here. And I was like, Ron.
He was.
But he's right. That show was awesome.
Yeah.
No, Late Night Landed was great.
But you saw the first show.
I did.
But you weren't a part of the...
No, yeah. But I went next week. They literally had another one the next week, and I went.
We were supposed to do like a USO show or
Oh, my
something.
God.
And then everyone was like, no. And I remember I was like the only one that was like, I am very passionate about doing the USO show. I wanted to do it so
glad we
bad.
didn't.
Me too.
Because, like, we would have never gotten that E-Academy sketch. Like,
that
was amazing. Oh.
We really need to, like, recreate that whole process.
Please. That would be amazing.
It's crazy how we all, like, live back on that.
Was Bill and Pauline with me and Malik, was that in the first show I did, too?
That was...
or was it the second one? I can't... The
you
sausage
guys
one.
sang together.
Yeah. Bill
Is that what you're talking about?
Pauline was one of the first characters I ever made up on my own.
Yeah, Pauline was great.
Yeah, she's all right.
You guys sang Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better.
No, that was the very
That was
first
in summer.
year.
That was like the camp
last
thing.
Year. Yeah, that was the year before. I have video of that, Malik. I know you're on Broadway now, but I could release it.
Just so you know, we could ruin your career. And
I have so much on you. It's okay. There are pictures. Oh.
Never mind. Oh my God, that's so funny. I remember you were like saying like how all your friends wanted you to have a black boyfriend at some point. I don't remember. I don't know.
I did. Oh God.
There's something in high school, and you're like, Malik, just go with it. Like I remember this conversation.
I don't.
It was
man.
wild. But that's crazy because, okay, so like those of you that are watching have no idea like what we're even talking about. So Susan was like, just when she got on stage, it was just kind of like this, like, I don't know, like I love this. How can someone have the nerve to do what they're doing right now? But like in a very good, positive way. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. Like everyone around you was like very acknowledged that like, I'm not gonna do that because I can't do that. And but then it was like, but you saying you were never nervous, or we that you were nervous. All of us, I remember we all were just like, fearless.
I think I got literally an award from Lanya peeps saying I was fearless. Like I got most fearless.
I think that was after like Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had that like I think it was like because that was my senior year and I was like most fearless. I
probably got like most like bitchiest award or something. Like,
I don't think so.
Like most diva, like most likely to like leave a room crying. Like
yeah, you gotta leave it like exit. You gotta exit.
Which literally I was thinking about that last night.
Well, it's weird because sometimes like I wouldn't be nervous and sometimes I would. Like sometimes it'd just be for attention, and when it's just for attention, I'm not. Really nervous. No, I'm not really nervous.
Why did you get into acting and stuff? I remember you started on YouTube.
Story. Oh yeah,
I remember you like with your like Hannah Montana songs.
Oh my
I remember
God,
that, but like what got you into?
Well, like it's just been I think it's a similar story to you. It's just been who I am because I remember when I was like 9 or 8, I like went out of my way to go and get acting books in the library, and I remember like pulling them out and just practicing. There were like little exercises you could do. I remember it was the first one I ever tried was in this book, and it was like paint a wall. Act like you're painting a wall. And then I did. And they were like, no, act like you're painting flowers on the wall. And I did. Like, I just took those books and I practiced monologues from them. And I just always have wanted to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you did.
And then I did.
But then you were in a hip-hop class first. Well, from what
Why did I want to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I like those pants we wore, those pantsuits.
Yeah, we wore janitor outfits.
It was great. We like got to. I have like one of those because I never got to have a dancing like little figurine. You know what I'm talking about? The wooden figurines. I got one that year.
Oh yeah, like the little trophies.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, that's funny. Yeah. So that's how did we get here?
Life is just like that, Mackenzie. It's unpredictable, which is why I touch things over and over again. Ew, Susan!
Do you feel like, so particularly, do you feel like there's a certain reason that it's occurring more in your life?
Right now?
Mm-hmm. The quote-unquote OCD undiagnosed.
Yes, the undiagnosed.
But let me just say, people are depressed and don't have to be diagnosed. But this obviously is a little bit different. It's different, I would say. Because it's such a specific diagnosis. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, and some people have it so severe, Yeah. Like I feel like mine, I can still, right now, like get through things. And it's not like hours of my life are spent doing it. It's just moments. But I don't know. I guess I'm stressed right now. I mean, I'm working a lot, like you said earlier. And that has a lot to do with it. And maybe I need to relax more. Ew, what is relaxing?
All right. But what does it ever get in the way of like opportunities for you? Do you ever?
What do you mean?
Like, do you ever get to a point where you're like, I'm just not going to go to this audition, or I'm not going to?
No, it never does.
Well, that's awesome. That's good. Good for you.
Yeah, because that's why I have it.
Yeah.
Probably. Because
of this whole acting artist world.
Yeah, that's probably why I have it. So, like, no, it never gets in the way of that.
So what are you wanting to do forward from here? Are you wanting to, like you're saying, like some friend or some person is telling you, like, well, I go to therapy and
well, that's just to have like someone to talk to, right? That's just to like have.
Because is it really bothering you?
Well, if it gets worse, I should go see someone, but I've been able to live my life with it. Yeah. I mean, like, I've had this my whole life, and it flares up and it goes away. But if there's ever a point where it's like, hey, you are not living a normal life because you're... Like, I heard this podcast once about this guy who was in a new place, Like, he was at, like, an internship or something over the summer, and he kept rearranging the garbage in his trash can to the point where he was doing it for 5 hours at a time, and he didn't really meet or make any friends. Like, he still did the internship, he still did all the work, but he was not having a social life. And it's not gotten to that point for me. If I got to that point, then yes, I should see someone. But at this moment, I feel like it's something, maybe if I got a therapist, I would talk to them about it, maybe about ways to, like, help me with it. But it's not debilitating. So, yeah. Yeah.
So and I think that's a really cool thing that you're successful and you work really hard, and it's not getting in the way of your life.
Yeah.
And that's cool for other people that are dealing with this, because, like I said, like, I live with someone
who's also very creative and very successful.
Yeah, and is this one little thing that just kind of throws them off sometimes. And with the anxiety, so your anxiety is really just attached to the
I would
performing?
say so. I would say, it's to other things in life. It's like life,
Yeah.
like the big fears, I would say. It's always the big fears.
You live in Chicago.
Wait, did I say it funny?
No, that's just me saying it.
Oh, yeah, I do live in Chicago. In the back. We're going to go in the back?
In the back with your back?
Yeah, that's kind of Wisconsin, but people talk like that up there.
I know, it's crazy.
Say, oh, no, that's, what do they say? They say, this is my buddy. And they go, oh, those folks are good. They always say folks, buddy.
Stop.
And, well, I think my aunt says and whatnot. But, like, yeah.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Yada, yada, yada. They say all these crazy things. I'm like, what is this place?
Chicago sounds like such a trip.
It's an interesting place. I don't hate it anymore, which is great, because I hated it for a while. But now I'm like, oh, I have friends.
Why did you hate
I love it? Huh?
Why did you hate it?
I was very lonely, because, like, I went there and I was like, I'm at work. and I did not make friends. I literally, like, the week I got there, I was like, 2 jobs.
Right.
Art.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, like, I did that for, like, 2 years. And slowly, I got friends. It was never, like, I went out and saw people. It was, like, in life brought me these friends, and now they're my friends. So, it takes time to acclimate to a city. I didn't go to school. So.
And I remember you telling me that. You were like, I remember I talked to Susan before I moved. Remember when we all met up? It was like a tampering grind. It was like right before I moved.
Oh, yes.
And you were like, well, at least you're going to, like, go to school and you'll have your network of people. Half of them, I hate them. and they listen to this. But I know the actors I don't care for, but that's because they don't care for me. But they're just like, it's because a lot of people think I'm just this film person.
Yeah.
And I am not a film person. And I've learned that.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
I know what you mean by film person.
I'm not.
No.
And like I tried to be, and I tried to be like, oh, like editing and art, and like I can do like the logistics of it, but I am not like that. Like, I'm not like, oh, let's talk about like The Lobster, which actually I do love The Lobster.
What's The Lobster?
It's a great movie that you should see.
Is there a puppet lobster in it? Because that sounds like something I'd listen to.
No, it's foreign and it's weird as hell, but watch, it's actually really good. I think you would like it, but
it's a Canadian.
I don't know what it is. Colin Farrell's in it.
He's hot, right?
He's hot.
Oh my God, he was like
his same birthday as mine.
Pride and Prejudice.
I don't know. See, I'm not a film person.
Wait,
I don't know.
No, I'm thinking of Colin Firth. I always get them mixed up.
And Colin Farrell's hot too, though. But
Will Ferrell.
Even in The Lobster, when he's like overweight and like, I'm just like, daddy.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But all these people think that I'm like this like film person, and so when I like, you know, like stage manage a theater show or like do theater, they're like, they kind of give me this vibe that like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I am theater. Like, you don't know me. Like, I've done everything. And I've realized in LA that I'm the opposite. I started out really loving LA, and now I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, I kind of hate it.
I think it's gonna ebb and flow, like, because I mean, I personally as a person don't want to stay in Chicago because I like the idea of adventure and seeing new places. Mm-hmm. Why would I limit myself to one city when it already taught me so much, and I could go to another one and have the new experience? That's
exactly how I feel.
That's exciting. Mm-hmm. And, like, especially since, I mean, you moved to LA from here. like, you know how drastic those worlds are, how different they are from each other. And that's what I've learned. Like, I moved from Elmer to New Orleans to Chicago, and people in here are different from people in New Orleans, and people in New Orleans are different from Chicago.
Right.
And I'm learning so much about that, like, just different
human race,
and like how different life can be. Because my life in Chicago is so different from how I grew up. And that's teaching me just different, like, there's different people, there's different things, there's different experiences. And I think that's very important to know. Yeah. So I want to move to I don't know where I'm going to move next, but it definitely will be film oriented because I want a career.
I feel like you would be in LA.
LA or Atlanta because it's hot there.
Atlanta's, popping off.
I mean, I say this, and I don't really know how the film scene is there. Also, how is it for actors? Because you might just be a day player if you go there.
Exactly. Kind of like how New Orleans was, right?
New Orleans and Chicago is kind of like that. So, like, I mean, I might have to move to one of those major cities, New York or LA. I don't want to yet. I like the indie scene a lot. I like where I'm at right now. I like that I'm learning because I feel like, I don't know, with indie films you really can like do you can take risks. You can practice your craft, which is why I do it in the first place.
Right. Well, I feel like indie films are more respected in places like New Orleans and Chicago, whereas in LA they're just there's a billion, and that's
like New York
just me.
Probably has a good community.
Oh, I bet New York does too. LA is just so. I mean, I live right next to Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? Which is right next to.
Did you high five it?
Girl.
Wait, I gotta do this.
It's.
I burped.
Warner Brothers and Universal and everything, it's all just right there, and it's really overwhelming at first. I can only imagine being like a film buff, which I'm not, and then moving there and being like, everything I've ever loved was created through that. But I think you would do great there, especially as an actress and someone that's doing already TV and stuff. Like, I would say the people I know, you have more experience than people in LA that I know.
Maybe. I mean, I like the actors in Chicago. I really feel like they work very hard. Like, I watched this indie film called Princess Sid, and it had Chicago actors in it, and they were older. But you could tell that they've been doing it for years. Yeah. And you could see that talent on screen. And they aren't in the major cities, which means they do it for the love of it. And I have a lot of respect for performers in Chicago. I really feel like they work very hard. And there's a lot to learn. Plus, I still haven't finished all the classes I want to take. I want to take more classes there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're going to move to...
Wherever.
Well,
film oriented, but wherever.
And I feel like eventually, like, because like I've really fallen in love with stand-up comedy, and I feel like I have grown so much in just a year of doing it. Yeah. I started when I was 20, a year and a half, and I'm at a point where I'm doing shows like weekly and like twice a week, and I'm really doing shows, and like I would love to like make a name for myself in LA and then like move to New York.
That's like a lot of, I think, isn't that what stand-ups do? Is LA's a big stand-up city, right? And
it is, but New York is more so, because it would be better for me to like kill it in LA and then like eventually move to New York, especially, and I hate to make it about a relationship thing, but like if I stay with Thomas, and Thomas being, you know, the playwright that he is,
New York would be a good place for him.
New York, it just makes more sense. Yeah. And plus it's just that, like you said, it's just different cities and different environments, because LA is very draining.
Well, New York's going to be the same way.
Exactly.
I hate to say it, but it will.
Oh my God,
that's okay. Because, I mean, like, you can deal with it. Like, you can do it. You just kind of have to acclimate and realize, like, what kind of lifestyle you're living. Yeah. And make sure you're taking care of yourself. But, I mean, it's doable, and it's not that terrible.
And your health comes first. And the cool thing is we're from a place where we can, like, come home and do nothing, and nobody bothers us, and there's, like...
Well, you do see someone you know everywhere you go, though.
You can't walk anywhere without everyone being like, I thought you lived in Because they're ready for you to say, I gave up. They're ready for it. At least that's how I feel. I'm so bitter about everybody. But
it's okay. Grapefruits taste good sometimes.
Yeah.
They're bitter.
Yeah.
They're a bitter breakfast group. Bitter.
I think yeah, you made some awesome points about with having anxiety and this undiagnosed OCD and bringing that full circle to it's manageable. And I don't even know why you would ever have you ever taken medication for anxiety?
I don't want to because of birth control and my experience with that. I took a pill that literally changed who I was as a person, and I don't feel like it's safe to take pills. I feel like they're an easy out.
That's a very smart.
Well, I read this book, and it was about like how we've changed our view. So like they used to do lobotomies, and it was like you would cut parts of the brain out.
Yeah.
And that felt very invasive, but a pill, it's simple. You swallow it and it's fine. And I thought that was a very interesting argument because like pills can do the same thing. Like people change on pills. Like I know someone who takes ADHD medicine or Adderall. They're a completely different person when they're on it. They're not themselves.
That's like legal meth.
Literally like it's and he's like, I have to take it or I won't do work. But it's like you're not you.
Is he ADHD though?
Yes, I think he is. Yeah. From what he's told me, yes.
Because a lot of people abuse that, which is, I mean, me and my friends in high school, like I remember people.
Oh, for tests and stuff.
Oh, for tests.
Yeah, I think I took it once.
Jordan McVeigh.
And it just kind of
monkey test.
But it's so like. I agree with that.
It was the weirdest experience because I don't really have a problem with focusing or working. So like me on that was weird. I was just like, this is just, I feel like I want to like drink this root beer very precisely.
Yeah.
Drugs ruin people's lives.
Really.
My grandma was taking this drug. She of course had like a whole buffet of pills she was taking before she died, but like there's this drug and they were like, make sure she's not by a casino because this drug's gonna make her horny and want to gamble. That was literally written on the pills.
No.
Yes.
What?
I know.
Do you know what drug?
I can't remember. I just remember being like, what? My mom.
That sounds like cocaine or something.
Maybe she was on cocaine. Sue Jean was
like, I don't know.
She was crazy. No, she's great.
That's funny. I mean, like in a very weird
I just
sense.
think it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Makes you horny.
I want to take pills like that.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, so I'm glad you've got a handle on it, and you're killing it.
Thanks.
In the game. As long as you feel like you're killing it, you're killing it.
I'm happy. I think that's important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're exhausted, I can tell.
I'm very tired, but I'm very happy.
And your hair's grown out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not bald anymore.
Did you cut the sides?
I did.
So it's longer on top. That is my dream haircut, and I could never do it.
Why not?
I just don't feel like I could.
Okay. Somehow I magically had the perfectly round shaped head, so short hair looks good on me.
I like short hair on you.
I think it looks really good on me.
You never had short hair before, Ginger?
No. Yes, but like bobs. Ugh,
Right.
They're terrible.
So where can everybody go watch Ginger?
It's premiering at DePaul University, so I don't think it'll have an online release until like later on next year in 2018 because it's going to go to festivals and stuff. My hope is that please submit it to the New Orleans Film Festival because then then everyone I know down there can watch it, and I'm sure it's going to be in Chicago festivals and stuff. But it premieres in January or February is what they said. But I don't want to say that's like the official date because I don't want them to feel like they're on a timeline. But that's what they told me. So,
but what we have seen of it, what you showed us was really cool. Like the different stuff. It is really, really awesome. And Susan's a great actress. And if you look hard enough, I'm sure you'll find some other wacky stuff on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But by wacky, I mean very entertaining.
Thank you.
Like these are things I could never forget. Entertaining.
Which ones?
I remember you wrote a song about a guy that you went to high school with.
Oh, MJ Purvis?
Yes.
Oh yes, MJ Purvis, my old muse.
To a Hannah Montana song.
That was like my 10,000 hit. I never got any more than that.
I remember when that happened. I was like, I want to be Susan. Like, That was the moment in my life when I was like 14 and I was like, I could have done that.
And now she's a YouTube star. She did it.
YouTube's a job.
Yeah, I know, but you're still a star on YouTube.
I'll take it. I'll take it. They all know I'm a star. No, not at all.
It's okay.
YouTube's algorithm. YouTube is like dying, to be honest.
That is very true.
I don't know what's replacing it, but
Vimeo?
True.
Maybe?
For in the film world, yeah.
Yeah, in the film world, not necessarily everyone can make a video. Snapchat. Oh wait, that's dead too. Instagram.
Instagram's doing pretty okay. So.
Tweeter and flippity flop. I don't know if that's a thing.
So, do you have any advice for anybody that may be having
same thing as me?
Same thing as you, and also just like someone that does 18,000 things as a performer, and your advice.
Don't stop, please. Keep going. Take the necessary breaks you need, but don't stop. I mean, you're making the world better just by creating things, and it makes you happy. So keep doing that. As for the OCD stuff, I guess you're not alone, because I really haven't actually figured out how to handle it. Just know that somebody else is just not crazy, but does the same thing. Faces the same issue. And also, clean your pants so they don't smell like pee.
Okay, guys. Well, that's Susan. If you have any comments, comment below. And, literally everybody or anything we've mentioned is going to be maybe in the description box.
Tagged in the description.
So, thanks for watching.
Listening, Mackenzie. This is the podcast. God.
This was fun. GarageBand, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.